It's time now for the Art Connection of East Texas. The Art Connection of East Texas is sponsored by Valorosa Designs and Galleries. They're located in Tyler's Bergfeld Center.
Just in case you haven't heard, I'm here to spread the word.
Now, let's welcome your host of the Art Connection of East Texas, Nita Fran Ward.
Good morning. This is Art Connection of East Texas, and we bring you information about art and artists from all around the East Texas area. And this morning is Easter weekend, and we just want you to be blessed every way that is possible today and tomorrow as we celebrate the life of our Christ. Cindy, good morning. You, my co-host. This is our fourth morning to do this.
This is so much fun. Happy Easter, and what a blessed and wonderful day to be here today.
Yes.
Especially with our three special guests in the studio with
Yes,
us.
we do. Cindy, you want to introduce your mom and dad?
Yes, I am grateful and thankful to have both of my parents in the studio today. My mother is just kind of sitting in the background watching and observing. And I grew up in my dad's stained glass studio, and my dad, Carl Trimble, is here with us, is the artisan that we're going to be talking about today. Thanks,
How
Daddy.
about that? Thank you, honey.
And we also have Stephen Sluder, who is with Rose Spa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. And Stephen is here to talk about an adventure that he has been on in the last few months, and he wanted to talk about this because it hits many of us, including my family. And many times. And so, Stephen, we're glad that you're here. And Stephen also is going to be a sponsor for us in April, and we welcome that. We want to say thank you very much to our other two sponsors, which is Burkeville Insurance Agency, and thank you, Brad, and the entire Burkeville family, and to Go Leaf Gallery. And those girls over there do a tremendous job. So we thank them very much for being our sponsors. So, Cindy?
Yes, ma'am.
We are here.
And we have so much to talk about always.
Yes, we do. I want you to talk about, quickly, we're going to go through what's going to go on at Bergfeld Center April the 7th, because many times when we've done this over the last 3 weeks, we've kind of been a little fractured about giving information, and we decided that we want to walk people, now that we know in the center exactly how we're going to be doing the afternoon, tell people the entire schedule so they'll know.
Perfect. Well, please come and join the Bergfeld Merchants. We have put together a fantastic block party that has a lot of fun moving parts, including an art walk. And when you come to the Bergfeld Merchants, each of the stores are going to have an art walk card. And from that, you're going to have a map of the different merchants and the different artists and who they are, where they are. You want to come and meet the artist. You're encouraged to come and have that signature and to have that complete card walk through and completed. At the very end of our evening, we're going to be having a raffle for prizes that the Bergfeld Merchants have all contributed to. So you can have a prize. And with the art walk, we are also having Jacqueline Cavender having a book signing there. Her book can be purchased at the Cafe 106 Whole Health Cafe. We have Night of the Superstars that helps benefit special needs children. Wow, what am I forgetting? There's just so much going on.
Erin Kinsey singing.
Hello. First and foremost, she just came back from London. It's a little early in the morning for this blonde here. Erin Kinsey, whose wonderful song we just heard is the theme song of our show here, Ain't Settling for Nothing Less, is so inspiring for us all to reach and aspire in new ways. And that's what we like talking about art. How can we lift each other up? And there's so many variations of art. So here we have it, the Art Walk at Bergfeld Merchants, April the 7th. We're going to be closing the streets at 3 o'clock. The actual party starts at 5:30. That's when Erin Kinsey is coming on board to sing and perform. However, you're going to want to get your parking. We have a Star Steed is going to be the opening act, and they're going to start performing at 4:30. Our merchants are open all day. It's a day experience. Come and enjoy the fun. Bring your family. The streets will be closed, and it's a block party.
And there is actually a style show that's going to be going across the stage about 6:30, did you say?
Yes, there's going to be a Tux and Prom. They're going to be having a fashion show while the Erin Kinsey takes a break. You'll also see these beautiful models and gowns walking through the streets. And the parlor is having a hair soiree. They're going to be doing beehives, and I need some more hair for one of those styles. I think that sounds like fun.
And we were laughing at a meeting we had, and I asked the question. I said, because that was what was popular when we were going to proms. And I asked her, I said, are you doing a beehive? And she said, well, actually, we are. So I thought that was a pretty neat thing, too.
Well, as a beekeeper, I kind of like that idea.
I know you do. And inside of Valarosa, Doug Carter has donated a wonderful, beautiful painting, and you have to come into Valarosa and sign a card. And on the next show after April the 7th, which will be the 9th, we're going to announce the winner of that beautiful painting, and you have to leave us your email, because we're building our email addresses, and we want to do that, and Doug thought that would be a great way for us to be able to do that.
That was so giving of him, too, and his art is so beautiful.
Yes. And Brian Stone, who is one of our artists, is going to be the artist in residence there that night, as well as our guest artist is Doug Carter. The two of them will be there. We have brought in some beautiful mouth-blown glass from a man out of Pine Bluff. We went to Pine Bluff a day before yesterday and picked up this glass. So we will have that in the studio new.
Well, and not only that, the local artists that have come to support the art walk, we have Sylvia Morse, who's a sculptor. We have jewelry makers. We have painters. We have Russell Blue, who's a local one, who will be doing little 5-minute portraits. So there's a lot of fun activities that are going on. So
and throughout the evening in Valarosa, we have 8 models who will be inside the gallery, and they will be modeling my jewelry, which I make, and we have a Navajo silversmith who makes it for me. So we have lots going on in the Bergfield Center that night to entertain you and to inspire you and everywhere you're going to turn, you're going to be looking at some fabulous art.
Yay, so inspiring.
Okay, yes. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Well, I think it's very special that you personally have created some jewelry for Aaron Kinsey as a gift.
I did. I am, and I talked to Brian yesterday, and I said, okay, Brian, it has to go in the mail. It has to go in the mail Monday to me, because he's in Las Vegas, New Mexico. So he told me he thought he'd have it ready by Monday.
Yay.
So
I get to wear some of your jewelry, too. Little bling,
yes,
never hurts.
Yes, you're going to wear some of our jewelry, too. So we're just really excited about all of the wonderful things that are going on in the Bergfield Center for this April the 7th. It's a Thursday evening. And
so basically, your time frame really officially is like 4:30 to about 8 p.m.
Yes,
and that's
is.
We'll wrap it up. We'll announce the raffle prize, and then the streets will be reopened at 9 o'clock. So,
yes,
just so you know.
And each time that we do the show, we have 2 community service announcements, and I pick out things that I feel like should be stated. And Stephen, your talk is going to be one of those things. When you talk about what you would like to speak about this morning, about the cancer awareness, and also the Palette of Roses Art League. Every year they have an art show, and it's going to be this year. It's in conjunction with the Azalea Trails. It's at the Presbyterian Church, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this next week, the 31st of March, April 1st and 2nd. And the Presbyterian Church is the one that's the big church there at the corner of Rusk and Broadway. And it's an all-day show, so go in. You have to go around to the back and pull around, and it's in a large community area there. So if you want to see some beautiful art, go by the art show there. So if there's anybody that wants to call in this morning, I want to be sure and give you that number. It's 903-593-5822. So this is the Art Connection of East Texas, and we are just so pleased to be here with you again this morning. And Mr. Carl, we're going to talk to you in a few minutes. You have become a renowned glass artist.
Thank you.
And it'll be wonderful to hear your story as you have made this pathway and your journey toward fulfilling your dream of being an artist. And Stephen, tell me at what age you decided you wanted to be a stylist.
I was about 21 years old when
And
I
you-
decided to go to hair school. Yes.
Yeah, and you did that. And you have been there at the Rose Spa 7 years?
I have.
You told me.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have
Since
you have reached out
2009.
and touched a lot of ladies and gentlemen as
Yes,
far
we
as making them presentable.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're always happy to be presentable.
Absolutely.
So it's about time for us to take a break. And I want to I invite you to be sure and come back, because we still have a lot of information to give you about Mr. Trimble and about Stephen. And Stephen, your journey toward retaining your health, getting your health back, has been quite a to-do, I understand.
Yes, it's been a major ordeal.
I know it has.
Perseverance is always key.
Yes, it is. And we are ready for a break with our next commercial.
News Talk 97.5 FM, KTBB, with you everywhere you go at ktbb.com. ktbb.com, hosted by Group M7.
Passing down generational skill sets and knowledge is part of what made this country great. We need to get back to that. I'm pastor and businessman David Mitchell. Join me and my team for a 2-day training event where we share the skill sets I learned from my grandfather. I've used these skill sets to generate wealth for my own family so that I never had to take a salary from the church. We will teach you the same powerful short-term trading strategies as well as longer-term investment strategies. That way you can pass the skill sets down through several generations of your own family and help get this country back on track. New venture on Wall Street. Build your legacy.
Coming to the Tyler Courtyard by Marriott, April 8th and 9th. Only $99.95 for your entire household, plus a free ticket for a friend and full money-back guarantee. To register, call 877-907-TRADE. That's 877-907-8723. Or go to nvows.com. That's nvows.com.
There are so many patients that their deductibles are very, very high.
Licensed physician assistant Renee McCarty.
And they have trouble going to their regular doctor and paying out of pocket until their deductible is met that year. And so they delay their appointments, they stretch their medication, they put off getting lab work or appropriate studies because they simply can't afford it.
Healthcare is changing. Lifetime Health Center helps you afford the care you need.
But here at Lifetime Health Center, we try to keep the prices very manageable for people so they can pay out of pocket for it. Then if they need to, they can apply for reimbursement with their insurance company, have it applied to their deductible, and move forward.
You can get same-day treatment at Lifetime Health Center.
I want my patients to be able to call today with a sore throat, a cough, a sprained ankle, and get in and be seen today.
Primary health care that's convenient, affordable, and confidential. Lifetime Health Center on the West Loop between Kinsey Drive and Old Jacksonville Highway. Online at lifetimehealthcenter.com. Lifetime Health Center.
Insurance is, at its best, almost completely invisible. Hi, this is Paul Gleiser. In a perfect world, the only involvement you would ever have with your commercial insurance would be renewing the coverage once a year and paying the premium. Otherwise, out of sight, out of mind, and happily so. Right up until that moment in a decidedly imperfect world when something happens. It's when you have a claim that you'll get up close and personal with your commercial insurance coverage. And it's when you'll learn a whole lot about who sold you the policy. Hibbs Hallmark & Company has built its reputation by taking exceptionally good care of customers when they have a claim. I know this from 20-plus years of personal experience. You don't ever want to file a claim, but chances are you will. And when that time comes, Hibbs Hallmark & Company claims management experts excel at taking the problem off your desk and taking care of it from theirs. Before you renew your commercial policies, take time to visit with Hibbs Hallmark & Company. They're online at hibbshallmark.com. Hibbs Hallmark & Company.
From the rolling prairie to the piney woods and everywhere in between, a Mueller metal roof is always right at home. Our variety of panel styles and color choices complement your natural landscape, providing both outstanding beauty and protection to your home. And wouldn't you love to have a worry-free roof overhead? With a 30-year limited paint warranty, our energy-efficient coatings will provide a fresh and vibrant look for decades. Visit our website at MuellerInc.com to view our photo gallery and take advantage of the interactive color selector tool to help you decide which panel and color style best suits your style of home. Remember, every Mueller roof is made by Mueller in one of our 3 manufacturing facilities. And with 29 sales locations across the Southwest, Mueller is always ready to deliver friendly, personal service before, during, and after your purchase. Call us today at 8772-MUELLER or stop by and see us soon to make a Mueller metal roof part of your natural scenery. That's 877-268-3553.
Rush Limbaugh, weekdays at 11. Set a new button for 97.5 FM, KTBB.
We're back with you with Art Connection of East Texas. We call it ACET. And within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be announcing a great new program for artists. It's going to be the ACET Network, which will be an opportunity for artists to join. And we have some great things that are going to be put out on that website so that people who join it have discounts for art supplies and those kinds of things. So we're going to be announcing that pretty much next week. I think we'll wrap it all up and make all our decisions this next week and have that out there for you. So
I was just going to say thank you, Nita Fran. You've really come back to Texas with really your heart of gold and really reaching into ways of not only helping all of the merchants at Bergfeld and bringing Bergfeld Center itself back to life, but just as you mentioned, the Art Connection of East Texas, really reaching out beyond yourself to other people. So thank you this Easter weekend for being a blessing to all of us.
thank you. That's very sweet, Cindy. And I want you to know, Joyce, who is Cindy's mom sitting here with us, that someone asked Cindy if she was my daughter, and I said I certainly would take her.
It's the blonde hair, y'all.
And that smile, that big beautiful smile you have.
And you as
The
well.
next week she could be redheaded or something else.
She could.
That's the artist in me, Dad.
or rainbow. She can be all colors.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
All right.
Ask her about her
Couldn't you,
cases.
Stephen?
Imitating Cyndi Lauper.
That's another show, Daddy.
Okay, Stephen.
Yes.
I want to say this and bringing in you. 5 years ago this month, my husband was diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
And we have been 5 years clean. Went to MD Anderson, took
Thank
care
God.
of it, and it was prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you just follow your gut feeling. And all of a sudden, I woke up and I said, he missed his test last year. He didn't go get a PSA last year. We've got to do that on spring break. Had we not done that, it would have been very bad. It was a very aggressive cancer. So we are so grateful to God that He brought us through that.
Yes.
That I was pushed to make that happen for him, and here we are 5 years later, and I say we because I feel that way. We are cancer free.
Thank God.
So, yes, Stephen, I know that you have a story to tell. And it's about the journey that you went on when you found out that you had cancer.
Yes.
And you want to bring about this idea in people's minds that to be aware, to be cautious, to take care of their bodies, to listen to their bodies. So I want you to tell your story now.
Okay.
And thank you for being here about that.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Around March or April of last year, I noticed something unusual, a tumor I found. Thought it was a hernia. I've had hernias before, several in my life, and so didn't think anything of it. Waited a couple of months, had it checked, came back cancer. So long story short, wound up having surgery, having the tumor removed. It had metastasized into my abdomen, into the lymph nodes. It was stage 3. And anyway, had surgery, had it removed, and then went through the process of chemotherapy and so on and so forth. Was out of work, in the hospital, at home, quarantined in the house, blood transfusions, immune system crash. It was kind of a wild ride.
Sure it was.
Anyway, in January, I had my last treatment and then waited 6 weeks. We did a PET scan and my report came back cancer-free. So the treatment did work, not without a lot of...
Oh, it just takes the body back, doesn't it?
It's
it
debilitating,
just takes the body down.
for sure.
Yes, it is.
It knocks you out. It kills everything. Cancer, chemo does not know the difference between a good cell and a bad cell. It just kills it all.
Sure.
So, you know, we have come through that, and now April is actually Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, which is what I had, testicular cancer. So the month of April is designated in the cancer community as awareness for that type of cancer.
Okay. I remember when we were at MD Anderson, they would give you a bracelet, and the color of that bracelet indicated it was connected to the type of cancer that you
Yeah.
were dealing with.
Yes.
And so, do you know the color of that?
I do. It's purple.
It's purple. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, purple's
So
the color of passion. And you know what? You, through this process, have taken on a new passion. And, you know, Nita, you spoke about we, and it is that community of love. And you've had such a surrounding of friends and who have that faith and belief in you. And
Yeah.
we do love you, and we've been through this journey with you. So it has been that
Yes.
roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So I embrace that purple passion with you. Nice to be here, my friend.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yes, sir.
and that you came through it and you still are able to smile and know. And here you are. You said to Cindy, I want to make people aware. I want to bring that up in their minds of taking care of themselves. And if you see something, say something kind of mentality. If you feel something, and to constantly check our bodies and say something's not right, I don't feel right, or there's something not right about my body that I've got to go take care of it. And that I have a daughter-in-law, Elizabeth, who has worked 20 years as a oncology nurse. She's an RN. And I remember her saying to me several years ago, she said, we have not cured it, but we are saving lives. And she said, every year we are there. We're getting closer and closer. And she stays up with things very much. And that makes a big difference to go to the right people and have the right treatment and go where you know you're going to be moved forward in such a way that and when Bill went to MD Anderson, what they told us is we are a research hospital. And if there is a biopsy that another hospital might do, they might do 5 slices, whereas we will do 500 slices because they are researching. They're trying to find every moment where those cancers come from, what makes them there, and how can they stop it.
Yes.
And I have a dear friend, family friend, Christina Bolton, who's in Houston, I believe, listening this morning.
Good
And
morning,
she-
Christina.
She works at MD Anderson. She's been there for about 10 years. So, you know, thank you all for the work that you do to help save so many lives.
Yes.
And there, of course, we always have the big cattle barons, and I understand that just this past week, our own little Erin Kinsey is going to be one of the performers at the cattle barons.
She is.
That's a big deal. So the song that you're listening to, which is Ain't Gonna Settle for Anything Less, Nothing But the Best. And that's what we want to settle for in our life only.
That's
Is
right.
keep reaching for that highest level, if it's our health, if it's our art. So let's talk about you in your career
Okay.
as a hairstylist, because that is an art. To take a head of hair the way some of our hair grows, some of us with, like me, 2 twirls in the back.
I have chicken
have
hair.
Chicken hair, and you know, a double. What do they call those things? Cowlicks. Yeah.
Hair growth
Where
patterns.
did that come from? Look
I
like
have no idea.
it came off the farm, I can tell you. But talk about your career and
Okay.
how you have approached your own art.
Absolutely. I've always put myself in a position to work with people that are better than me.
Smart.
To sharpen my skills and always challenging myself to be better at what I do. And so, you know, I've worked for a lot of people and done a lot of things. And over the course of 22 years, my career has taken me from Oklahoma, where I'm from, to New York City for about 6 years, and then back to Texas, now in East Texas with my family, which is why I moved back. So that's kind of the story in a nutshell.
And you have family here in East Texas?
Yes, the majority of a lot of my dad's side of the family is here, is from here, the Sluder clan.
The Sluder clan.
Guess there's a slew of you.
Yes.
And I know that as a stylist, a hairstylist, over the years you have seen a lot of change in the products you use. And it's like with an artist, if you have a good product, and I know that you find this true too, Carl, that you have to buy a glass that's a certain quality of glass to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, there's a wide range of qualities of coloration of texturing, add mixtures of color. I've got a project in place right now where I've specified 99% of the glass in these 2 large commissions is from Yakagani glass. That's up in Pennsylvania.
Interesting.
Handmade glass, hand-rolled glass, some of the best out there on the market.
Okay.
That it qualifies for me for a domestic glass that's equal to the hand-blown West German glass that I also use a lot of. So.
Okay.
That's cool.
And I want to go back to that. I think it is time for us to take a break. And we are really happy to have you, Stephen, come and talk about this, because anytime a person has the opportunity to say, I've been there, I know what it is, and this is what you can do. And you're an encouragement to anyone who's facing this.
Thank you.
And he's a great artist. Go see him at the Rose Spa.
Yes, I planned it.
Listen on your smartphone. Just search KTBB in the App Store. It's free. Sponsored by Tyler Ford.
Hey, how's your back?
Much better, thank you, and thanks to our hot spring spa.
Yeah, told you a hot spring spa would make a difference.
Well, I must say it does.
Yeah.
The warm water holds me in a buoyant state while the jets massage away the tension and make the pain go away.
So, I was right then about getting the hot spring spa thing.
Well, 30 minutes in our hot spring spa really helps me get a good night's sleep.
So I was right.
And time in a hot spring spa is better than taking pills.
Boy, it sure is, and you know I was right.
And it's not like you don't enjoy a hot spring spa, too.
I do. Let me think. I was right.
You're going to make me say it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you were right.
Oh, I love that. Let me hear it. Come on.
You were right. You were right.
I'm like the conductor of the right symphony here.
You are.
The Hot Spring Super Sale is on now at East Texas Spa. Get 0% financing for 36 months with payments as low as $125. Experience the difference a Hot Spring Spa can make in your life. East Texas Spa in Tyler on Old Jacksonville Highway, across from the Berkshire's warehouse, and in Longview on Loop 281 by Casa Olay. Online at ilovemyspa.com.
As a family-owned business, the Bergfeld Insurance Agency values treasured heirlooms. The agency has been passed down through generations, so they understand the importance of ensuring family history. Trust the Bergfeld Agency to insure your collectible art and precious jewels. Homeowner policies may not cover your collection, so call today for a free quote. They're an independent agency offering customized policies from multiple carriers for home, auto, RV, and business. BergfeldAgency.com.
This is Mr. Flinder.
Oh, hi, boss. This is Richard.
Richard, it's practically noon, and I notice you're not here.
Yeah, the thing is, I've been stuck at home.
Oh?
Yeah, I've got a plumber coming out, and I'm still waiting for him to show up.
Boy, I sure know how that is.
You do? I mean, boy, yeah.
What Mr. Flinder doesn't know is that Richard called Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Since Benjamin Franklin Plumbing has already come and gone, Richard has used the time he saved to play hooky.
Yeah, they say they'll be there by 10, then they call back and say 2:30, and then they don't actually show up until 5.
Yeah, really. Whoa!
What was that sound?
The basement. Yeah, it's full of water.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing guarantees to be on time, so you can get more done. Of course, what you decide to get done is entirely up to you.
Oh, I got a big one.
What's that, Richard?
A big leak. I've got a big leak.
Poor guy.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, the punctual plumber. If there's any delay, it's you we pay.
Call 903-526-1776.
I was taken to dinner recently to a well-known high-end steakhouse. Hi, this is Paul Gleiser. This particular restaurant was started by an entrepreneur and was so good and so successful that it was bought and turned into a national chain. The other night revealed that sad fact. Oh, the place still looks great, and Lord knows the prices are what they've always been. But the food? For that kind of money? All of which validates my belief that the best restaurants are independently owned. And that's why I have, from day one, been telling you about Keepersall Estates. Prime beef, fresh seafood, a proper wine list, a local owner who is personally connected to your enjoyment. That's what you get at Keepersall that you will not get at one of the national chains. I don't care how nice the place looks or how much money you pay. So if the evening matters, I say let Keepersall Estates help you make the most of it. Go south on Broadway to FM 344, left under the bridge, 1.5 miles to the Keepersall entrance gate on your left, and then follow the signs. Reservations at keepersall.com.
We're right there on your clock radio first thing in the morning. And in your dashboard as you dash around all day. We're KTBB. Download our app and listen on your smartphone or iPad. Thanks to Tyler Ford, it's free for iPhone and Android. Just search KTBB in the App Store. KTBB is your only local news radio. And we're working for you even when you're not near a radio. Your only local news radio. 97.5 FM, KTBB, and KTBB.com. News, weather, and the biggest names in talk radio. Set a new button for 97.5 FM, KTBB.
We're back this morning on ACET, Art Connection of East Texas. Thank you, Stephen, for being here, and thank you for being our sponsor for April.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Carl,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
time for us to talk glass art.
Okay.
And I've just, as Cindy started talking to me about what you did and seeing some of the photos of your different projects, you've hit the big time. Let's talk about this major project you're doing in Dallas right now.
I'm so excited for him.
Well,
yes.
I've got a nice residential project going on. There's two fairly large windows going in a home in Preston Hollow. And then I've done a lot of work in that Park Cities area.
Sure.
Over the years. But I just got a commission confirmation Thursday for some work in the new development at the old Parkland Hospital there in Dallas. It's kind of ironic. About 20 years ago, as a member of the Small Firms Roundtable and the Historic Commission for the American Institute of Architects there in Dallas, we did a study on a preservation thing about the old Parkland Hospital. There was talk at the time about tearing it down, demolishing this historic facility, and eventually it came back in. It was redeveloped, and so there's a tremendous amount of work that ultimately can be done there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What will you be doing at the hospital?
There are 4 large panels going in a ceiling. They're like 35 by 51 inches. It's in a big oval with some very decorative overlays on the lead caming. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything verbally. You know, it's hard to get from a visual to the verbal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much the volume of the work, but the location of where it is, the quality. The Beck General Contractors there is one of the largest general contractors in the country, and so have my work chosen by them for a project like this is significant.
Sure it is. And what area in the hospital is it going to be installed?
This is no longer a hospital. This has been redeveloped commercially.
Okay.
Right there off of Oak Lawn there in Dallas. Very classical architecture. It's amazing what they've done to update this.
I've seen that building, and I didn't know what they were.
Just east of the toll road there on Oak Lawn.
Yes, yes.
And,
just south of Maple.
It's really
That
neat.
is a beautiful building.
And so they've added on to the original building. And lots of corporate facilities out there. So
is it going to be office space?
There's lots of office space.
That's what they're renovating it to be.
Who it is, but somebody's come back in and redeveloped it and maintained the historical character by the more classical architecture that it fits in with that early 1900 era that Parkland was originally built.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been a hospital in many, many years.
I see. Let me ask you, when you talk about the installation of it, you say it's in 4 panels and in an oval.
These are basically skylights.
They're skylights.
How high are the ceilings in there, Daddy?
I haven't been in that facility yet.
Oh, okay.
All I've got is the architectural drawings.
Okay.
I want to speak to you speak at the skylights, and I know, Daddy, that your work, your faith really comes through that, and God is love and God is light, and I know you've spoken to the fact that in this realm of glass art and how the light reflects through the colors, that that's God's creativity through you. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Light, the stained glass work is basically dealing with transmitted light. And there is that transformation from the clear skylight, daylight, to the multiple colors and how that is projected into the facility. Ultimately, the stained glass, a lot of people get concerned about, well, you can't really see it on the outside. You can't, it's not designed for the outside. It's designed to affect the interior.
Mm-hmm.
The glory days, I guess, would be the medieval cathedrals in Europe.
Sure.
But we have a panel that I finally completed for the front door of our home, using some of that West German glass and some other beveled glass, and the sunlight during a certain part of the year when the light comes through that, it projects those colors into the hall and down the hallway and onto the walls of the house, and that shimmering, glimmering of the bevel, it adds a tremendous, and it does on any project. So
sure.
You have to be mindful of where it's going, what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of some of my religious commissions, I made the statement that the stained glass transforms the light of the sun the way the gospel transforms the lives of men.
How interesting. Wow. That's beautiful.
That's the analogy
it does.
That I make. That's cool. So.
Well, okay. My mind went several different directions when you were talking. I'm always interested in the process. What is your process? You get a project, and then you have, because you are an architectural
glass
artist, and so you get this project. You know what the dimensions are. Then you know what their intent is. What is their goal? Then how do you approach that?
Well, it starts off with the conversation with my client. What is it that you want? What do you want to accomplish? Sort of like when I was in the life insurance business, I'd sit down with a customer and ask the gentleman, the family, what is it that you want to accomplish by buying the life insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at it and see whether or not what you've got accomplishes that goal. If it doesn't, then let's take a look at how we can solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I sit down with my clients, we'll talk about the project, where they want to go. I take a germ of an idea and I go back to my computer. I have a computer program that assists me with the design work. Somebody said, well, gee, doesn't that take away from the design? I said, well, did it take away from Hemingway that he used a typewriter?
Exactly. You use whatever tools there for you to make you work fast or better.
That's why they're there.
You've seen a couple of the illustrations this morning that
Uh-huh.
I've done. Obviously, we can't show them over the radio, but I'll sit down and I've got within that computer program, I've got a palette of all of the different manufacturers, their glasses, so that I can go back in there and hit a button and point that piece of glass, the particular,
bring it into that design,
mm-hmm. into that particular area, and then I do a printout and show it to the client.
Have you found that on your computer that glass comes back to you in its real form?
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty much the same color. That is amazing.
They've done digitally photographed for each sample of glass that a manufacturer made.
That's so helpful to you.
There's several thousands of different colors and combinations of textures and colors that it's just almost unlimited what we can do.
Okay, now let's move from that process. You've already done your graphics on your computer. You've taken this to your client. All the colors are there, and they say yes. You did a project for the big dome that we actually sent out on Facebook. Can you talk about that project? That's a huge thing. We saw it in the final installation, and that was a huge piece of glass.
And that was one of 3 of the domes that were built.
Yeah, there were 3 domes done. This was done for the Hare Krishna temple there in Dallas. There were 2 domes that were 3 feet in diameter that were fully enclosed in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Then above, that went to the sides of the altar in the temple there. Then the larger dome was 7 feet tall, 7 feet wide, about 4 feet tall, and then curved around into the lower portions of the installation. Altogether, probably between 4,000 and 5,000 pieces of glass in this installation.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we can describe that visually.
No, but we did put it on Facebook, so if anyone's interested, they could go and look on Facebook.
Yeah, that was one of the smaller domes. And then, but
we'll post a picture of the whole temple scene there too.
Good. I wish you would, Cindy. That would be helpful for people to get a visual of what he's talking about.
They brought in 25 years or so earlier that had something done that was done with plastic and a wire frame that was collapsing. The colors were distorted. It was just absolutely in horrible shape.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to create the forms that we used to build this on was quite an undertaking.
I bet it was.
Overall, it was about a 14-month project from beginning to end. Now, part of my agreement with them was that I have other customers, I have other work that comes in. This is a very major commission, and I have to be able to honor my existing clientele.
Sure.
And so I had the right then to go ahead and do other short-term commissions, working this in between.
Sure. We're going to take a break right now, but we're going to be back in a moment, and we're going to finish this conversation about Carl Trimble and his wonderful artwork.
The Doctor of Democracy is in. Rush Limbaugh, weekday mornings at 11 on your only local news radio, 97.5 KTBB FM.
My name's Ronnie, and I lost my arms in June of 2004.
A lineman for the local electric company, Ronnie spent 45 days in the hospital after a power line accident took both his arms. With a lot of effort and dedication, he learned to use prosthetic limbs. 18 months later, with the support of his employer, Ronnie went back to work.
It felt good for me to be able to go back and be with the guys that I work with.
As his employer's workers' comp provider, Texas Mutual Insurance Company is proud we could help Ronnie get back to his job. But what means even more is that we could help him get back to his life.
I like fishing. I can take the boat out by myself. I do drive my truck. I do hunt and fish. Even after 11 years, Texas Mutual still calls and checks on me and seeing if I need anything. Without Texas Mutual, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Texas Mutual is committed to working with employers to help get injured employees back on the job and back to their lives. To learn more about our Return to Work programs, go to WorkSafeTexas.com.
You know him from Comedy Central and ESPN. Frank Caliendo.
Hey, I could run through everybody if I had to. John Madden. Hey, here we go. Here we go. It's going to be a good one.
Little bunny foo-foo, hopping through the forest.
You have a problem.
You're fired.
And now it's time for my final thought.
Here's a guy who just didn't forget the rest of his act.
It would be terrible to be little bunny foo-foo.
Saturday, April 16th, presented by UT Tyler Cowan Center. Get tickets now at cowancenter.org. Sponsored by Teresa and Paul Owen.
Hi, Bill Coates. I wear two hats here at KTBB at ESPN Radio. One of those hats is talk show host. The other is salesperson. It's while wearing that second hat that I want to talk to you about your printing. As much as the internet has changed how we sell, it's nevertheless true that how we look and function in print has a material impact on how well we succeed. That's why the management here counts on Hudson Printing and Graphics for our sales collateral material. Hudson Printing is indispensable. We know that in a competitive environment, the impression that we create in print can make the critical difference. Hudson Printing helps us win that battle for a good first impression. Their graphic design staff, together with the latest digital color printing technology, creates sales material that looks great and delivers our story, all at a price that makes sense in a cost-conscious business environment. To be your best, you need to look your best. Hudson Printing and Graphics can help. You'll find them online at hudsonprint.com. Hudson Printing and Graphics.
If you've ever hired a contractor to do construction, build out, or remodel work at your business, chances are the job wound up going over budget and taking too long. Hi, Paul Gleiser here. You know, we kind of just know that's going to happen. I know I did. Right up until Caliber Associates came in and did a complete makeover of our offices and studios here at KTBB. It was miraculous. Caliber Associates arrived when they said they'd arrived. They were finished when they said they'd be finished, actually a couple of days early. And I was never asked for an additional dime. That was 2 years ago. Recently, we updated our entrance with a beautiful glass front. Job quoted, job done. Amazing. If you own or run a business and need construction or remodel work done, you owe it to yourself, your shareholders, and your employees to let Caliber Associates bid the job. Call me, and I'll be glad to show you the work they did for us. Caliber Associates. You'll find them online at CALIBERGC.com. Caliber Associates. Online at calibergc.com.
Hi, John Bass from Major's Pharmacy. Woo, son, come see us at Major's Pharmacy, because, brother, they got it all. When you don't feel well and need a prescription filled quickly, the chain pharmacies will make you wait. Major's Pharmacy won't. Bring your prescription to Major's Pharmacy, and in most cases, they'll fill it and have you on your way in 15 minutes or less. Majors Pharmacy accepts most major insurance plans. Majors Pharmacy, South Broadway at Shelley Drive, across from Wagner Cadillac, and online at majorsPharmacy.com.
Looking for one of our advertisers? Search the advertiser directory at ktbb.com. ktbb.com. Hosted by Group M7.
All right, we are on and back this morning. This is ACET, Art Connection of East Texas. We're interviewing Carl Trimble, a glass artist, and I am very excited to have you this morning, Cindy's father, and welcome again, Joyce, Cindy's mom.
Thank y'all for being here.
Stephen's still sitting here with us. He said he wanted to see this process. Okay, we have about 4.5 minutes, but what I want you to talk about, Mr. Trimble, is talk about the glass itself and how you treat that glass, because the process is so important.
Well, my glass comes in various dimensions and sizes. Some of it is machine rolled, some of it is hand rolled, or a lot of it is almost an infinite variety of colors and textures of glass, the colored glass. The colors are built into the glass when the metallic oxides, when it's heated in the furnace and melted together. You'll get glass that maybe has swirls of color, different colors of glass in it. It's sort of like a marble cake. When you mix the dough, the chocolate and the yellow cake, and kind of twirl it around, and you see those swirls. Some of the glass is done that way as well. Some of the glass I use is hand blown. It comes from West Germany. Some of the most expensive glass that I use, but also some of the most beautiful. But once we get the design done, we have a full-scale pattern. It's called a cartoon. That's where the word cartoons, like on the Sunday paper, cartoons, that's where that word comes from. The drawings that are done for the glass. The individual pieces of patterns, sections in the glass, the pattern is cut apart, and we use that pattern to trace around to cut the glass. Then once all the glass is cut, we fit it in with lead that has a channel on either side, a slot into which the glass is fit. Once it's all done, the joints of the lead are soldered together. Then we come back in with a slurry. I mix my own rather than using a commercial inferior grade of stuff. It's a mixture of plaster of Paris, linseed oil, and turpentine, or mineral spirits. The turpentine or mineral spirits eventually evaporate out, leaving the plaster of Paris and the linseed oil. And the plaster of Paris acts sort of like a binder, like aggregate in concrete. And the linseed oil never really fully hardens, so it remains flexible, but also gives waterproof and stabilization to the windows. It can be a very involved process. The panels that we did for the Hare Krishna temple, between 4,000 and 5,000 pieces of glass in the entire project. And so it took us about 14 months overall, as I mentioned earlier, to do that. But I've done work, as a Protestant. I've done work for the Roman Catholic churches. I've been high praises from the priests and even the bishop over in Fort Worth.
Glenwood Church of Christ here in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, yes.
Where we're from.
That was an honor when the Glenwood built its new facilities out on Rice Road out there. I was blessed with a commission to do the stained glass for that. But I've done work for the Baha'i congregation there in Louisville, Texas.
And they've called during service afterwards to say, your dad's light is so inspirational as we worship, that light coming through.
Sure.
So that's some of the satisfaction.
Yes, it is. The end product, and knowing that people are going to be blessed by that.
Well, I've had a number of people that come in and want to learn to do stained glass. And they'll last 6 to 8 weeks, and they'll disappear and not even return a phone call, realizing that, I guess at that point, that it's a lot of tedium. And you get your reward when you lift that panel up off the table for the first time and see the light coming through it. When I did the work for St. John the Apostle in Terrell, Texas, when the priest and I were sitting there in the sanctuary as that panel was lifted into place and saw that light foaming, and we looked at one another, and each of us was in tears.
And that picture is on Facebook at Art Connection of East Texas on our Facebook page, so do go and look at it, because it is that path of light.
So,
all right.
But You know, you can't tell it by looking at me, but I've lived the life of a starving artist. I tell that as a joke, but there are rewards that go beyond
Yes,
money.
always with absolutely in everything that we do. That should be our goal. Thank you all for being here. We have to say goodbye, and we're glad that you came with us. Next week we have Erin Kinsey. We're going to be interviewing her live, so she's going to be here.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Thank y'all for having us.